Hey, all you reloaders and casters out there, freedom loving folks like me. Um, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse or any of that. Tonight I'm making some 44, I'm going to call them Magnum Light. Basically, I'm loading a cast by me 240 grain bullet in a 44 Magnum case to mimic a 44 um, cowboy load. That's going to shoot very much like 45 Colt. Powder charge is reasonably light. It's 5.4 grains of the OPB 242, which is also, it's made by St. Mark's Powder Company. I have a lot of it, and I will probably never use it up with the time I have left on this earth. So now that I've dropped my first round, so I wanted to share what it is I'm doing and why I do it the way I do it. So first of all, I don't have anybody operating the camera. It's just me out here tonight. I'm using mixed 44 Magnum casings, okay? A little bit of every head stamp really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It really, I'm not shooting for accuracy. It's just something that I shoot for fun. They're probably about on the same lines as 44 Special. There's really nothing special about them, except that they are in a 44 Magnum case. And of course, they're cast by me, and I use high-tech coating, as you can see. OPB 242, really doesn't matter what pistol primer I'm using, it's tight group. OPB 242 is also known as tight group. It's made by St. Mark's Powder Company. They're out of Florida, and they sell it to Hodgdon. Hodgdon rebottles it and calls it tight group and charges you significantly more money. So we are in the middle of the Omicron portion of the pandemic, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that are using powders that are less filling. And we're not talking about Coors here, but they are less filling. So basically, it's a very small powder charge. So I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to go ahead and load one round to keep you guys from getting too terribly bored with my babbling. I do it a little bit different. Since I am using an extremely low volume powder, I remove each and every case, take a flashlight, shine it in the case to make sure that the powder is present so that I don't have a squib. And I make sure that powder's present in the case and the correct amount. I've been doing it like this forever, and I've never had an issue. So we're going to make a round real quick. So it's a Dillon rl550C. Okay, I just sized a case, charged the case, seated the bullet, crimped the bullet. Now I'm seating the primer. Okay, and then I can rotate it like so to move on to the next one. So there's our first one that we loaded. So I'm going to take the second one out and I'm going to inspect it. Okay, we have 5.4 grains of powder, and now I'm going to grab the camera, and it's probably going to get a little bit interesting for you guys. I'm going to grab the camera and start pointing it at things. So let's put the powder in the bowl. Okay, I'm going to turn this camera around. Sorry, 5.5 grains. So there we go. No, I bumped it, I guess. There we go. 5.4 grains. So why is this so important? It is very, very important. And it's the level of importance is pressure. Okay. So now we're going to take this same case. I'm going to lay the phone down momentarily, and I'm going to pour the powder that I removed and poured in the scale. I'm going to put it back in the case. Okay. So now we have the powder charge. Let me see if I can get a light here for you guys. Excuse my dirty floor. I'm not the best housekeeper in the world, but it is what it is. All right, so let me set the phone down here. So, as you can see, there is powder in the case, but it's really way down there. It's a very low volume. So now what we're going to do, now that I know I have the correct amount of powder in the case, I'm going to set the bullet on top of it, and I'm going to seat it. And this next case is going to get powder. Okay, so there we go. I didn't size a case because this is just really an experiment, if you will. We're going to remove this pin, and we're going to remove the case. And as you see, we have powder in the case to the same volume. Now we're going to put it right back in the machine, and we're going to charge it again. Okay. So we're charging it a second time. And we're going to set the case down. And let's see if this works any better. Wow, we still have a lot of space in that case. And it'd be really difficult to notice that you put a double charge. So now we're going to go ahead and do it a third time. Okay. We're going to put a third charge in it. Okay. So now we're going to do a visible inspection again, or visual inspection again. Now we're finally getting, so let's see if a fourth one will fit in there. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now we're getting up to full. Okay. We are probably a ½ inch from the top of the case. So why is that a problem? Well, you guys that have some experience know that tight group is a very fast burning powder. It makes its highest pressure really, really rapidly. It's a good powder, or OPB 242, because it's really not made by Hodgdon. So as you can see, I could seat this bullet in there, and I believe it was 4 powder charges, a total of 4. That is a lot of powder. That is 4 times the amount that would be safe for this cartridge. It can create a big problem, okay? Big time. I mean, this could literally blow up in your hand. You just created a, instead of it being used in a handgun, it would be a hand bomb. It would blow the gun apart. No matter what gun, even with a cast bullet, the pressure would be so fast and so high that you would create a bomb in your hand, and it would blow up, and it would hurt you severely. So just for safety's sake, I'm going to put this back in the machine. Okay, I'm verifying that this is the case that I did put all of the extra powder in. So I'm going to pour it back in there like so. Even though I have plenty of it, there's no reason to waste it. Guys in other parts of the country don't have powder, so they would do a lot of things to attain some powder. So now we're going to go ahead and finish up and charge this one and size one and seed a primer, and we're golden. So that is why I remove every case and I do a visual. There are powders out there that you can load this same thing with that give you a lot more volume, where you can visually see it, the powder in the case, to know that it's there. Squibs are just as dangerous as overcharges. But the truth is, sorry, I dipped snuff. Y'all just have to get over it. The truth is, they can be just as dangerous. There's no reason to not. I understand that reloading You want production, production, production. But at the end of the day, you also don't want to have that really bad day at the gun range. Usually a bad day at the gun range is better than a good day at work. We do this for fun. We do it for pleasure. We do it for competition. Some of us hunt. Some of us just enjoy family time at the range. Some of us train for a zombie apocalypse. Well, everybody's different. Everybody does it for a different reason. But that is one of the dangers with the Dillon rl550. It's a great machine. I own 2 of them. But in the same breath, it's all you. It's on you. You can hurt yourself if you don't pay attention and you get distracted and you're doing something that you really shouldn't be doing while you're reloading. You can hurt yourself. Guys, I just want to show you what Tight Group can do, or OPB 242 can do, if you how many charges you can put in there and overcharge it for yourself, and you can cause yourself a major problem and an injury and destroy a gun, and there's no reason to do that. Pull them out, look, buy yourself a fancy camera. I have a mirror here, I can see it, but with this powder being so low in the case, I actually prefer pulling it and do a visual inspection. That way I know it's there. I know once it hits that bin that I can shoot it out of any of the 44 Magnum handguns I own, and it's literally going to do very little. It's going to be a powder puff load, if you will, or a cowboy load. People want to stick them with a cowboy load, but really they're a powder puff load. I use 2400 heavy pistol H110 for my loads that are hotter. And my gas check loads, I have some gas check loads that I make also, and I gas check them and high-tech coat them and yada, yada, yada. Even some of them that are really push hard, I high-tech coat them and I wax lube them and gas check them. And I push those severely hard. I push those as hard as most people do jacketed bullets. I don't use any old case. Normally I run those cases one time at full pressure. From a new case, it gets fired at full pressure once. After that, its life as a Magnum case is over. Simply because that's my preference, not because you can't. But that's just the way I do it, and I do it that way, and I've done it that way for years, and I've never had an issue. You can double charge. Don't do it. Be careful. Turn your phone off. Turn your movie off. Turn your little radio on. Get relaxed. Get in your rhythm. And make what you need to make. And be careful. Again, rl550, great machine. I own 2 of them. They are fantastic. They're the most versatile machine that they make. The conversion kits are more affordable for the rl550 than the 650, 750, 1050 on up. But they do come with that inherent danger that you are subjecting yourself to if you're not careful. Anyway, I just want to make this video because I had the powder in there that I'm never gonna use at all, and I'm trying to use it up. Normally I use a powder like Unique or something like that, Shooter's World Ultimate Pistol, something like that, to load these, because it does have a little more volume. It's a little easier to see in the case using a mirror. I'm all about mirrors, inspections, yada yada yada. And let's see if I can find the sweet spot where I can see it here. Let me see. I don't know if it'll focus. So let's see if we can do one. We're going to do one, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay. Then I'm going to rotate that rascal around, and let's see here. All right. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on the mirror instead of on the little light. There we go. You can see the powder in there if you really pay attention to just the powder, nothing else. Let's see if I can make the cell phone focus. Anyway, I believe you guys saw it earlier, but you can see it. You just have to pay real close attention. We reload because we want to shoot. We want to shoot cheap. You know, some of us cast our own bullets, and that way the only thing we're really in need of is lead and cases, and primers. We can do what we need to do. But that's why I do what I do, and that's why I pull each one of them when I'm using a low volume powder, and I inspect. It's just for safety. They'll shoot great. I plan on shooting these this weekend. So anyway, you guys have a great night, and sorry I bored you with this video, but I wanted to make a point of the facts. I'm a no BS video guy. I don't do, I take no money from nobody. I'm not going to say, hey, hit me on my Patreon and give me $5 or give me $2. I don't want anything. I do this because I enjoy it. I do this because I want you guys to see what I see, and maybe we can all get better as a reloading public, and make better product for our own use, and limit the power of the ammunition manufacturers when it comes to what their profit margins. Let's just say that. They will abuse us. They have abused us. They continue to abuse us. The more stuff we make for ourselves, the only way you're going to hurt a business is to hit them in the wallet. They could care less about, Dillon could care less about this video. Their machine's a great machine. I use it all the time. But the only way you can hurt them is to tell the truth. And it's the truth that this machine does have a weakness. And the weakness is really you. But at the end of the day, that's why we do it, is to make our own ammo, and we have to be careful. I'm doing it to be cheap, use up powder that I'll never use at all. Anyway, so anyway, I'm going to call it a wrap, and you guys have a great night. Happy loading, happy shooting. Take a kid out. If you have a kid or a grandkid, grab them up and introduce them to the gun world. Some of the nicest people you ever meet in your life will be at the gun range. Have some guns that you've never seen, never heard of, and they'll probably shoot them if you stand there and BS with them for a while. Anyway, y'all have a good evening.